The morning mist clung to the pines like ghosts unwilling to leave. The logging camp had just begun to stir. The sound of axes striking wood echoed through the mountain valley, sharp and steady, like a heartbeat carved in timber. Eli Carter, the lumberjack they called the mountain ghost, swung his axe with a precision that came only from years of solitude. His broad shoulders gleamed with sweat, his jaw dusted with the rough shadow of a beard that no one had ever seen him shave clean. He didn't speak much. Men said he'd lost his reason for smiling long ago, buried somewhere beneath the roots of the forest he called home. That morning, as he set his axe against a stump, he saw her. She stood at the edge of the tree line, a woman in a faded cream dress, her hands clutching a small boy's shoulders. Her hair, chestnut and tangled by the wind, caught the sunlight in a way that made even the pine needles shimmer. She didn't look like she belonged there, among men who spoke with sweat and timber, not words. But her eyes, soft yet unyielding, carried something that demanded to be heard. "Mr. Carter," she said, her voice trembling only slightly, "they told me you're the man who minds his own business." Eli wiped his hands on his trousers, cautious, silent. "Who's asking?" "The widow from Willow Creek," she said, lifting her chin. "My name is Anna Whitlock." He remembered that name. Everyone in town did. Her husband, Samuel Whitlock, had been killed last winter in the mines, a cave-in that left Anna with a newborn and a debt she couldn't repay. Folks whispered that she'd been surviving by the mercy of others, the kind of mercy that came with stares and cruel offers. Eli nodded toward the child. "That your boy?" She looked down, brushing her son's hair back gently. "His name's Thomas. He's 3. The little one clung to her skirt, peeking out with curious, blue-gray eyes that reminded Eli of storms that never broke. Anna took a breath, then said the words that would change both their lives. "Mr. Carter, I need your help. I need you to pretend to be my son's father." The camp went quiet. Even the wind seemed to hold its breath. Eli blinked, unsure he'd heard right. "Come again?" She stepped closer, the boy's small hand in hers. "The landlord's coming for the rent next week. He said if I can't pay, he'll take the farm, or find another way for me to settle the debt." Her voice cracked, the shame burning behind her eyes. "But if he believes I've remarried, if he sees I have a husband again, he won't touch me. He won't dare. I just need someone to pretend, Mr. Carter, just until I can sell enough eggs and lumber to keep the land." Eli stared at her, his rough hand gripping the handle of his axe. "You're asking me to lie to the law, to your town, to everyone. Why me?" "Because you don't gossip," she said softly. "And because I saw what you did last winter, when those boys mocked that stray dog and you took the beating meant for it. You're not cruel, Mr. Carter. I need someone like that." For a long time, Eli said nothing. The other loggers watched from a distance, whispering. He could feel their eyes digging into his back, waiting for him to laugh or turn her away. But something inside him, something that had been frozen since the war, stirred. He saw in her the same loneliness that lived inside him. He knelt down to the boy's level. "Thomas, huh?" The boy nodded, clutching a carved wooden horse. "You like horses?" Eli asked. "Yes, sir," Thomas whispered. "Well," Eli said, glancing at Anna, "I reckon every horse needs a home. Maybe your ma's right. Maybe we can make folks believe for a spell." Anna's eyes widened, and a tear escaped before she could stop it. "You'll help us?" Eli rose, his shadow stretching long against the red dirt road. "I'll help you," he said. "But you should know, I don't do well with talking or crowds, and I sure as hell don't know how to pretend to be anyone's husband." Anna gave a small, trembling smile. "Neither do I, Mr. Carter, but maybe we can learn together." The days that followed turned the quiet farmhouse into something almost alive again. Smoke curled from the chimney each dawn. Laughter echoed faintly through the pines, and for the first time in years, Eli Carter found himself waiting for the sound of little footsteps instead of the swing of his axe. Thomas adored him, followed him like a shadow. Every morning Eli would take the boy out to the yard, showing him how to stack kindling, how to hold a hammer, how to listen to the forest when it spoke through the wind. Anna would watch from the window, her heart aching in ways she couldn't name. The lumberjack who once kept the world at arm's length was beginning to look like the man she had prayed for in her loneliest nights, steady, silent, and kind. But peace is fragile in places where gossip grows faster than grass. By the 3rd week, whispers began to circle through Willow Creek. Folks muttered in the general store, in the saloon, even outside the church, that the widow had taken up with a drifter, that the boy's new father was hiding something behind those cold eyes. Some said Eli had killed a man once. Others swore he'd deserted from the war. Every story was worse than the last. When Anna heard the rumors, she tried to ignore them. But when the preacher's wife came to her door one morning, clutching a Bible tighter than her tongue, she realized silence wouldn't keep her safe anymore. "Mrs. Whitlock," the woman said, her voice sugar-sweet but sharp underneath. "The town deserves to know the truth. Is that man your lawful husband or just another sin you've dressed in flannel?" Anna's cheeks burned. "He's my husband in every way that matters." "Then prove it," the woman snapped. "Bring him to church this Sunday. Let the pastor bless your union before God and men." When the door closed, Anna felt her strength crumble. She turned only to find Eli standing behind her, having